Alright, today we're going to be comparing the S22 Ultra to the S24 Ultra. Which phone do you get here in 2025 here? This has been a commonly asked question on the channel here. You can get a brand new S24 FE for $550, and I think the lowest is $489 in the used refurbished marketplace. An S22 Ultra in good condition or excellent condition is going to run you close to around like $400, so $389. And yeah, so it's pretty interesting, and if you go up in storage, it'll be like closer to the S24 FE. So which phone do you get? Do you get the old flagship, or do you get the kind of budget flagship here? So let's go ahead and check out the hardware here. So these are two very big phones here, so just do note that the S24 is going to be a little bit more comfortable simply because it has that curve at the bottom where you have a more boxier design that kind of pokes the palm a little bit on the S22. And they both have really nice designs still. As you guys can see, you do have a matte finish on the S22. You have a glossy finish on the S24, but this color you can't really see fingerprints at all, which is really nice. And they're both made out of premium materials. You do have IP68 dust and water resistant on here as well too. Now, the thing about the S22 is that you do have access to the S Pen. So if you do want to do digital artwork or just navigate with the pen, that's something that you can do on here. So it's pretty cool. I do like the S Pen. I do like its Bluetooth capabilities as well too. So being able to take a picture from a distance, with the pen, or a video. So if you're like a content creator or something like that, you put it on a tripod, take a picture, stuff like that, or start recording video. So it's a very useful pen in my opinion. Alright, so the display here is pretty interesting. So on the S24 you do have a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 plus, 1900 nits peak brightness. It's a 1080p panel, 385 for the PPI with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. The S22 Ultra does have a 6.8-inch display, so as you guys can see, it's a slightly bigger display with much slimmer bezels, especially at the bottom there. And you also do have a 1440p display, dynamic AMOLED, 120 Hz HDR10 plus. It does have a lower max brightness at 1750 nits peak brightness, and it is 500 for the PPI, also with the Victus Plus display. So basically you have a higher resolution on the S22 Ultra, but you do have a higher max brightness on the S24. The S24 is also a flat panel as well, so a lot of you guys may or may not like the curved panel on the S22 Ultra. And then you have two different display shapes as well. You have a boxy shape and a more curved shape, so it kind of depends on which kind of design you like. But overall, I do like the colors more on the S22. It has more of a colorful, more vibrant display, and also the bezels are not as bad on the S22 Ultra here. But very good displays on both. But I would say the S22 Ultra has a much better display here. All right, so the overall specs, let's jump into that, and software. So the S24 FE, while a lot of people like the S24 series in general, you will get 7 years of MajorOS updates with the S24 FE. Now, with the S22 Ultra, it is slowly coming to the end of its lifespan. It has a 4-year pledge, so we do have the Android 15 going to come to this phone, which is going to be exciting. But yeah, you do have that. As you can see, the Geekbench score difference here as well. So let's talk about the specs a little bit more. So on the S24 FE, we do have the Exynos 2400E, and then you also do have 128 gigs of internal storage, 8 gigs of RAM. On the S22 here, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 128 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. So as you guys can see, there's a big score difference in the multi-core score. I can't do a full speed test for you guys, but both phones are pretty fast for the most part, just doing normal activities and stuff like that. So now in terms of animations and speed, I can do a full speed test, but just know that the S22 is still pretty fast, but the S22 can get a lot hotter than the S24. That's the main thing that I noticed if you're doing very intense gaming sessions and stuff like that. But overall, the speed is still really quick on both of these phones. Animations are still pretty consistently smooth here, and they pretty much have the same stuff going on here. So you do have the Galaxy AI on both of these devices, which is really nice. So you can take advantage of that on the S22 Ultra as well, so you're not missing out on that. And let's go ahead and check out PUBG here. All right, so when it comes to gaming performance, you do have very good performance. Unfortunately, the S24 FE can't play at 120 frames. It can play at 90 frames really well. Like I said, the one benefit is it doesn't get as hot as the S22 Ultra, but the S22 is still able to play at 90 frames as well too. So there's not much of a difference when it comes to playing games like PUBG, Call of Duty, and stuff like that. You won't really feel much of a difference. So if you're not a heavy gamer, you don't play for extended period of time, then it's not going to really matter the performance increase with this upgrade here. Check out these speakers side by side at max volume. We'll start with the S24. So I do like the overall sound of the S22 Ultra a little bit more. It sounds cleaner, but my issue with both these speakers is that they're not very loud and they don't have a lot of bass. The S24 FE does have way more bass. The S22 Ultra is probably some of the worst speakers Samsung has put out. So it just depends. The speaker on the S24 FE sounds cheaper. Like it doesn't sound as clean. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras here. The S22 Ultra does have a slightly beefier camera setup. It's 108 megapixel standard, 10 megapixel telephoto 3 times with a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, and that goes up to 10 times with a 100 times zoom. And then we also do have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot an AK-24 with a 40 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. The S24 FE here has a 50 megapixel standard, 8 megapixel telephoto 3 times, and then we can go up to 30 times zoom. And then we also do have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. This can shoot an AK-30 with a 10 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. Check out these side by side stills and video. Let me know what you guys think. Another thing that you'll notice, well, you won't really notice it too much, but you do have an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner on the S22, so it's a lot faster. You can basically like tap it and it'll register. On the S24, it's optical, so you have to apply just a slight bit of pressure and then it'll go in, but you can't like lightly tap it. You know what I mean? So when it comes to battery life, I actually am able to get better standby time and better screen on time with the S24 FE. and it actually has a smaller battery at 4700 milliamps. 25-watt charging with wireless and reverse wireless charging is on board. I do think the battery life is better on the S24 FE, and it's probably due to it, one, being a 1080p display, and then two, the chipset is just more efficient. Now the S22 Ultra has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It does have faster charging at 45 watts, and you also do have that wireless and reverse wireless charging. But I would say, it's a pretty interesting. The S24 FE is a pretty solid deal, but like I said, it is still a downgrade in some areas compared to the S22 Ultra. So what do you guys think?